This is the video test of the Moto G5 Plus, and this is the 4K camera. So I'm going to see about the focus, and there's no stabilization in this mode. And I think I know what happens when there's no stabilization. It's pretty shaky no matter what you do. I found on my old 4K phone camera that the best thing to do was to stay perfectly still and move the camera very, very slowly. And that gave a pretty good movie. It's our fig tree. It is September 23rd. And the leaves coming off the trees in Texas. They do not change color and then fall off. They just go brown and fall off. We do have a Japanese maple that does the whole changing color thing, and can't see it from right here, beyond the fig tree. I was curious to see how long these you could go on the 4K camera. My previous phone was an LG V10, and I did not know until after I bought it that the maximum length of the video was 5 minutes. But after 5 minutes of recording, that thing was hot. So when I was considering this one, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and did searches to see if there was any limitation in length. And I didn't see any references. So there we are, approaching 3 minutes. When I get to 5 minutes, I'm going to briefly put my hand over the aperture opening, or whatever you want to call it here, the camera, and see if it's hot. Meanwhile, it's a 4-square court that we painted a little bit ago. I'm anxious to see if that shows up on Google Satellite. That building right over there is a kid's playhouse, and that shows up really well. And it's not as brightly colored. Alright. Back into the pool area. Might as well go around. It's 90 degrees here. Kind of hot for this time of year. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and as soon as the sun goes down a little bit, it ought to drop off pretty fast now. Did hear a lot of ambient noise happening on people's videos. And so this is my ambient noise test as well. The pool filter and the Polaris both going. And that is some ambient noise for sure. Now here's where I'm going to put my hand over the opening. Okay, that was warm but not hot. I don't know how to say that compared with the LG, but you literally couldn't put your hand there tightly and hold it. You'd get burnt. And this was nowhere near that. I might even experiment at some point with putting a cold pack on the front of the camera. Anything to sink away some of the heat, I guess, would accomplish the same thing as putting it down and letting it cool off. Alright. I keep forgetting I should be putting both my hands on this and doing it as still as possible. And I'm going to quickly run back and forth between distance and close up. See how quickly it focuses. And of course I'm still here now. That would help out a little bit as well. That looked like a pretty quick focus. More focus there. Maybe focus on the tree. And back to there. Alright. It's the north side of the house. And my old camera, I think its optical stabilization theoretically was supposed to be active. In 4K, but it was very, very jittery. Anything while you were watching was almost unwatchable. So I'm thinking on most of these, if you don't have optical and whatever the other stabilization is, digital, that your video is not going to be so good. I'm going to put my hand on this again. And that is still not overly warm.